we this part of the conference is one that we hold annually, and is designed and for our children. But I do want to announce that due to school closures, inclement weather, and power outages that some are experiencing, that the children were not able to get on today. But we're going to go right along. And for those of you that are on, we appreciate you for joining us on today. My name is Mrs. Lashika Miller, and I'm your MC for today. So we're going to start off, and we're going to have the welcome and membership by Miss Diamond Smith. Miss Diamond.
Good morning. I am Diamond Smith. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to Arkansas Land Farm Development Corporation's annual Youth Virtual Day. Today, Arkansas Land Farm Development celebrates 41 years of services in the areas of family farming, housing, economic development, and youth services. Since its inception, ALFDC has worked hard toward equality and providing services for the underserved, unserved, economically challenged communities. Based on the work of ALFDC, this theme for this year's conference is Opportunities for Economic Prosperity Through Partnership. Again, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Okay, so we want to thank Ms. Diamond Smith for the welcome. And now we will have the opening prayer by Ms. Tamira Privet.
Good morning, everyone. May we bow our heads for a moment of prayer. Dear most gracious and loving God, we want to first say thank you. Thank you for another unpromised day, God, just another day to get it right. Thank you for this conference on today, God. Give your people the right words to say on today. May somebody share on today help someone. God, we give you the glory and the honor today. God, we love you and we thank you. Amen.
Amen. Okay, so now we thank Tamira Privet for the opening prayer. Now we'll have Ms. Brianna James. She will come on and do our program overview.
Good morning. I am Brianna James. I am the Accounts Receivable here at Arkansas Land and Community Development Corporation. I am exceedingly proud to be a part of ALFDC's 41st Annual Virtual Conference. The EK program provides participants with work experience, leadership development, promotion of living and healthy lifestyle, and cultural diversity. The program focuses on youth career leadership and workforce development for middle and high school students. Students are offered direct experience in farm production and community service. The EK program has contributed to the lives of many. Through our EK program, the lives of rural youth have been strengthened.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Brianna James. Now, this part of the program would normally be our oratorical contest for our youth, but as I previously stated, that our youth, the kids, the schools were not able to participate due to school closures on today. So we're going to improvise, and I believe Dr. King is still, I believe that he joined us today. And Dr. King, if you're here, if you don't mind giving us a little bit about the program, the youth program. Is Dr. King still on here? Okay, I guess he's not here. So we're gonna move right along. Now we do have a winner for our oratorical contest, and that is Miss Alexia Moore. She's the only one that submitted something for the oratorical contest, and she's out of the Forest City High School in Forest City, Arkansas. So we're gonna, she will receive a $500 stipend, and so we want to congratulate Miss Alexia Moore for her outstanding paper that she sent in. And the paper that she wrote about, what she wrote about was the Equity and Equality Challenge for minority youth to become beginning farmers. So again, we want to congratulate the Fort City High School, Miss Alexia Moore. Okay, so since we are, and our schedule is going to be, we're going to be moving right along because a lot of things got canceled, and we're not going to be able to go according to plan. So I understand that Mr. Alvin Pierre is going to be our speaker on this morning. And so, Mr. Pierre, if you're ready, we're going to go ahead and allow you to speak.
Good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to work with our partners here at ALFDC. Today, it's an honor for me to always come before you because it gives me an opportunity to talk about NRCS, what we do, and career opportunities. As she stated earlier, my name is Alvin Pierre. I'm the State Outreach Coordinator for the Natural Resource Conservation Service. I'm a 22-year veteran here at the USDA. I have gone up through the ranks from soil technician, soil conservationist, district conservationist to the current role that I am in as the State Outreach Coordinator. As the State Outreach Coordinator, I've been able to reach people where they are, regardless if it's an urban farm or a farm at the last 40 in Lake Village, Arkansas. Where they call me, that's where I am able to go and to be able to speak with them about what we're able to do. But at the United States Department of Agriculture, the Natural Resource Conservation Service, there are many different disciplines that are available. For instance, as I stated earlier, I began as a soil conservation technician. The soil conservation technician is the backbone to the organization because the soil tech is the one that goes to the farm, actually speaks with the producers, helps them design what the practices that will actually help relieve them of the resource concerns that they found on their farm. When you transition from a soil technician, you transition to the lay member in the office, the one that puts the plan together based off of what the technician has actually designed and seen on the ground. And that person is the soil conservationist. The soil conservationist takes the information that has been drawn out and passed forward from the technician to identify the plan and to ensure that those resource concerns are put together in that plan based off of the agreement with the NRCS technician, soil con, and the producer. When that plan leaves the soil conservationist, that plan goes to the leader of the office in that county seat, which is the district conservationist. The district conservationist is the one that decides and makes sure that all the responsibilities of the other two positions are carried out correctly. They're the approving official for that county seat. Here in Arkansas, we have 72 counties with 62 actual offices that are seated. Most of them have district conservationists and a soil conservationist in every office. So notice what I said, we have 62 with a soil con or a soil tech and a district conservationist, but you will have a district conservationist and a technician typically in every office, depending on the workload. So that's 3 positions that I've identified that are housed in every office typically every office throughout the state of Arkansas. But there are other positions. There are positions such as the biologist, the wildlife biologist. When the technician identifies that there may be wildlife habitat, the soil conservationist normally contacts the wildlife biologist to see, as far as the planning process, to see what would be the best suited for that farm to to put into the plan. And mind you, there's a complete process it goes, but I'm giving you a high level of how the planning process works. So that biologist comes in and communicates with the soil con, identifying what type of food plots may be needed. If there's shallow water areas that could be added to that plan, just kind of gives you a wildlife basis. Going forward, we've also added quail for life, because there's been a consistent growth looking at adding more wildlife as far as quail into the habitat in Arkansas. And so we have quail for life biologists that are part of our partnership with the Arkansas Resource Conservation Service. So transitioning from that standpoint, there are many different areas that take place. The district conservation, soil con, and the soil technician are normally our field level expertise. When you transition up to the area level, there is a area conservationist that covers, we have 3 area conservationists here in Arkansas that are the direct leadership for the field level. They're the supervisors for the district conservationists in each area. But at that area level, we have an area level engineer, which helps the district conservationists and the soil con when identifying and designing pipe, looking at land leveling jobs, just to name a few of the practices that take place. So when you go to that area level, that's where that level of being able to certify practices goes to a higher level, a hierarchy in our offices. They are the ones that have a higher approving authority than the soil technician for engineering projects. So it goes to that level. As you move from that area level, where typically you have the area conservationists, the area engineers, you have your biologists for the area, you have your program technicians that actually help with the payments, program support specialists that help with the payments that are being processed from each county office. And then you have your support staff. So looking at it from that standpoint, you transition from the area level until what we call the state office. And the state office is where you have the state conservationists, which is Mike Sullivan. You have many different leadership departments, such as we have our easements department. We have partnerships. Easements is the department that identifies if you have an area that is wetland and you're looking at retiring that farm, well, that you would apply for one of our easement programs to see if your land would be eligible, and it would be considered a potential for retiring that land and putting it back into its natural state. That staff is about eight, I think it's 8 employees on that staff. One of the bread and butters is our soil staff, the soil staff that's there. When we start talking about our soil properties and what type of soil types you have in your counties, that's where we have our soils department that comes in and does training and talks to the staff. It's gone to a different level now because now you have your GIS specialist, which works through that soil staff as well. Somewhat trying to see how we will incorporate more of the drone process, using that in our areas. It hasn't taken shape yet, but that's something that we foresee that is potentially coming here in the future. But as you move around that state office staff, you also have public affairs. So public affairs identifies when you see the bulletins that come out, advertisements that go out, when we do PowerPoint presentations for different meetings that Mike is speaking at, or some of the other staff that goes through that public affairs to ensure that it's meeting NRCS public relations requirements. That's just another staff. And as we go from there, then you have your SRC. SRC is where the planning process is identified and where we get all of our directions on changes from headquarters, with planning for cover crops is a big one that we have going on right now. You have your soil health initiatives. You have your forestry people that are identified through the SRC staff. And then there comes to the staff that I am a part of, which is programs. Programs identifies with our programs such as the Environmental Quality Incentive Program, your Conservation Stewardship Program. This is the area where the funds come into the state, and the AC, the Assistant State Conservation Programs, divvies out the funds across the state so that they're equitably distributed to all the counties for potential funding opportunities. We have a representative that covers the Conservation Stewardship Program. We have another employee that coordinates the Environmental Quality Incentive Program. So they are the coordinators. So throughout the state, the area, and there's always a protocol, the area representatives have resource conservationists that directly communicate with the program staff, so that if there are questions, it's all about resources. And resources are part of our title, the Natural Resource Conservation Service. But knowing how to utilize your resources, regardless to if you're a soil tech, soil conservationist, district conservationist, area resource conservationist, utilizing those resources to get the information to the field representative to be able to better help our producers understand how we can help them with their concerns on the ground. So looking at that, but I also want to talk about I've talked about the different positions and careers, but then there's opportunities with our 1890 Scholars Program. I think it ended February 15th for next year's and potential for the application process ended February 15th. But through that 1890 Scholars Program, you have the opportunity to apply. And if you are a high school senior, freshman, or sophomore, when you apply for the 1890s, and if you are by happenstance one of the lucky students that apply, that program will give you a full scholarship as long as you are applying for a career in an ag-based career option. So looking at soils, looking at human sciences, looking at any of those areas of ag expertise is potentially available under that 1890 Scholars Program. But not only does it pay for your tuition, it pays for room and board, it pays for your meal plan, it pays for your books. And at the end of that school year, there's, depending on which agency picks you up for paying for that 1890 scholar position, there's a summer job that's connected to it. So the question that I often ask people is, there's a difference between a summer job and a summer career. A summer career typically extends to where you're trying to go, which normally pays you 2 to 3 times more than what you would have just at a summer job working for Hibbett Sports or Sports Academy, positions of that nature. And typically the setup for that summer career in one of our USDA office is a 8 to 4:30, 8 to 5 position with holiday pay. The salary is typically more than what you would get hourly working for one of the like I said, Hibbett Sports or one of those particular employments. But it's a requirement that you have to exercise, and that is to keep that 3.0 GPA. To be considered for that 1890 scholarship, you have to maintain a 3.0, and you also have to have at least a 3.0 when applying, along with a minimum of a 21 on the ACT to be considered for that scholarship. But looking at opportunities is one of the key factors, knowing who to talk to and being a part of the ALCDC forum here, where we're doing oratory. We're also having dialogue about careers, opportunities, the summer program. This is helping to enlighten you on how you can better service yourself as well as others as you go forward, and knowing how to use your resources, because you have people that are looking for a better future for you. When you look at Dr. King, Ms. Miller, and other staff there located at ALCDC, and even when you transition to the USDA agencies, I always give my email address and my contact, because if a student has questions, we want to be able to pass that information on. And you have other agencies beside NRCS that's connected to USDA. You have the Farm Service Agency. That is another agency that helps with the 1890 scholars and sometimes picks up students. You have Rural Development is another agency that picks up students through the 1890 scholars. You have the Forestry Service, who also picks up students through the 1890, among